1 second. I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself, and then I'm gonna get the PowerPoint pulled up. Okay. Hey Cheryl, we're over here talking about bugs on our vegetable gardens, but
It looked exciting, whatever it is.
but yeah, I was pulling them off. I had to go get my son, and he was having to hold the tree down so I could get the ones off the top. And if you pull them off, these pinchers came out. I mean, it looked like something from an alien movie. I was like, ooh, yeah.
What kind of tree?
It's a lemon tree. My granddaughter several years ago said, let's plant these lemon seeds, Nana, and see if we can get a tree. And the tree is about 7 foot tall now.
Amazing, amazing.
I'm gonna mute for a minute. I'm gonna go grab my coffee if you So,
Yeah.
so which means that there's bugs and there's mosquitoes and everything else, and I just have to deal with it because I refuse to spray. But you know, we were talking, a friend of mine and I were talking this weekend. Does anybody remember when the mosquito trucks used to come around from Department of Health and spray the neighborhoods? Well, then guess what? Then we killed all the bees. I wonder how, because we sprayed them. Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. How are things going in your word, Miss Cheryl? Wow, I saw that look. Okay.
I don't know what to say about that, Pat. You know,
I recognize that face. I'm with you. Yep.
I'm very busy taking care of Cheryl, okay?
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So people gonna see all sorts of information out there, I'm sure. What? Cheryl's leaving? Yeah, we had another one jump off today. Last day's Thursday, so it's just sinking shit. No, I'm just I didn't say that. Did I say that? Well, no. You know, I'm big on grant positions. I don't mind it. It's not an insanely bad risk. It's just promises were made and promises aren't being kept. So I got to move it on, keep it moving. So I mean, I love what I'm doing. So I'm right down in the dirt with it all. You know, I'm doing applications because I don't have any partners out there to do applications. So I am the partner as well as the coordinator, as well as the processor. There's something wrong with that.
Now that we're talking, I had a lady
Person
call me
anyways.
a couple weeks ago, and I was trying to make connections for her. She was enrolled in, it wasn't Georgia Rental Assistance, it was Emergency Housing Assistance.
Yeah.
Is that run similar, or I couldn't find any additional, she wasn't even in this area. Someone had told her to call me, so I did what I could.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff I don't know because I'm cross-trained on nothing by DCA. So I know about Hop One. I know about a lot of other things because I've worked in housing. So
Right.
you know, I'm a knowledgeable person, but I do not have an idea what that's about. So
Okay. Okay. Well, we got a little while. Some of us are just on early.
yeah, how many you got local on with you?
Antoinette and Denise are here in the room right now.
Okay, you're not gonna have a lot of people show up.
Well, this is the day after a holiday too. I put her in the chat already. I was trying to be efficient before you spanked my hands, Denise. You're in here too. You just go up, Denise. Scroll up. Alma, check your battery. You know, we got to laugh today because it's been.
It's like I'm I know I can find it before.
We got right at 5 minutes. If you will, go ahead and put your name and organization in the chat box, please. Carol, you showed up as 233-754. So, okay. Now we know who you are. Welcome. Again, we got about 3.5 minutes, guys. All right, we got 2 minutes and we'll get started. Probably going to be a very quick meeting today. We had a guest speaker lined up and at the last minute this morning had to reschedule. So we'll go over some other stuff and have some discussion and we'll get moving on. Again, go ahead and put your name and organization in a chat box, please. All right, guys, we got about 30 seconds and we'll go ahead and get started. If you haven't already, please put your name and organization in the chat box. Thank you. Doing that, I'll go ahead and try to pull up the slides. All right, let's get this party started. Come on. There we go. Welcome to the September Housing Navigation Meeting. And welcome to, I guess, the unofficial end of summer. I know it's, we've been in my house. Summer ended on Labor Day, and then we went into the fall routine. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Again, for those of you just joining us, our guest speaker for the day had to cancel on us today, so we had to abbreviate our agenda today. Sure, most of you won't mind that, the day after a long weekend. So we'll get moving and we'll have some open discussion and discuss some referrals and those kinds of things, and then we'll get moving. So the first thing we're going to go over is some document checks. Charles, do you want to explain what this is for folks and how we're going to plan on going forward? This is, I know, an HMIS discussion. I'm sorry. It's blurry on the screen. How we're, yeah, it is a bit blurry here, but how we're going to implement this document checklist and what it can mean for programs.
Okay, so at the moment, we've got separate lists for separate programs, so to speak. We've got moving to work, we've got rapid rehousing, we've got EHD. Now, if anybody needs a specialized list, just email me with a document list name, and then the list of documents that need to be included in that list. The way it works is if you pull up the document checklist, it has the list of documents that are included in that list.
Hey, Charles, can you
Yes.
can you go into someone in the database, Mr. Tester or something, and take a look at that real quick so everybody can see it in real time?
Absolutely. Let me share my screen.
Okay, great. And while he's doing that, again, if you've just joined us, please enter your name and organization in the chat box. We use that as record of attendance. Thank you.
Okay, I need you to stop sharing your screen.
I'm doing that right now. Thank you, sir.
All right. All right, first thing I need to do is get into client track here.
Okay, let's unshare your screen until you get to Mr. Tester, just in case, please.
Understood. Yeah, if they'll let me.
I'm stop sharing you. Okay,
Thank you.
sure. Let me know when you're ready and I'll let you back in.
I am ready.
You are ready, okay. And we just did that in case there was some information or a client and there's somebody here who did not have an HMIS consent form, or I'm sorry, a confidentiality form signed. We just want to make sure that we valued everyone's confidentiality and we didn't share information we didn't need to, so. Ready when you are, Mr. Charles.
Okay. Getting there, give me just a moment. All right, so can everybody see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I've got test pulled up here. Of course, now none of this really goes in sync because it is a test client. It really doesn't have any enrollments other than coordinated entry, but if you go into document check, this guy over here, and if we go into quick document check, there is a list of documents, and this list will be different for each agency because these are agency lists. I do have another agency set up, ready to go.
Hey, Charles, can you turn
Yes.
up your volume a little bit, please?
Sure. I think I can. I got some reverb going on.
And I just muted you by accident, Charles, sorry.
Okay, not a problem.
Can you hear him now? I know Keisha was having problems hearing.
Can
Okay,
you
go
hear
ahead.
me now?
Still a little garbled.
My microphone is all the way up.
Okay, let's go ahead, Charles, if you will.
All right, so. Once you, okay, so I'll go back to the dashboard here.
Yep, please, thanks.
All
No
right, so
worries, Keisha.
I'm on the dashboard now. Keep in mind, this is a test account in the live database. This test account does not have, enrollments, that kind of thing. It's, like I said, it's just a test account. But if you've got your client pulled up and you come over to the profile of the client, there is an option here called document check. So if you click
And Charles, before you go any further, I'm just gonna ask you to hang on just a second.
sure.
This came about because, as all of us know, each of your funders, each of your grants has requirements for you to collect Form A, B, C, D, and E. And the other one's F, G, H, and K. And this, so in order to, number one, keep track of what we had to have, any of us had to have for any of our funders. And also to have an easy way to do a quick check, a quick audit of your files to see if they're all there. This is how this came about. So rather than having to go through what we used to use as in client files and have a whole, can you click there? Okay, there's not one in here. There would
There's not.
normally be 20 to 30 documents that are uploaded because you had to have this and this and this and this. All this is, go ahead, you can go back to document check, is delineated out by the project type or the organization and the project type. So Charles, take it away. I just want to explain why we're doing this. This is not just so we can have something else to do, but this is where you can keep all your documents, you know where they are, and you can do a quick check on any given day. And also, if you need to print them out, you can print them all out at the same time. So I'll hush now.
And you can. Now, we have been testing in-house. We had planned on rolling this out September 1st, but through working with stuff and things like that, we found some changes that we had to make. Documents moved from this list to that list because of the way they were blanketed and all that kind of good thing. This is our current client documentation. It's got your HMIS consent, client rights and responsibilities, birth certificate, all that stuff. Now, you can upload your file one of two ways. You can choose a file or you can use the camera. Choose a file, of course, is best. It also has an issuance date and an expiration date for instances like a driver's license or a state ID, where you have an issuance date and you've got a date that it'll expire. And then that way you'll know, hey, look, it's expired. We need to get a new document for you, that kind of thing. Now, going back to what Pat was saying, where you have different grants and things of that nature that require different documentation. So I'm going to pull up the rapid rehousing for ESG.
No, I need you right.
And here we go. We've got the first thing you need is the referral, of course. You've got verification of homelessness, certification of homelessness, plus your proof of how that was certified, your enrollment intake, all that is in the list. So and I'm just gonna choose a file here. For verification, I'm just gonna choose a file that I've got here. Let's not use any of those. Let's, there we go. We'll use that one. So I'm uploading a file in here, and there it is. It's a copy of the original or the original. Usually, most times it's going to be a copy. It's most of the time it's going to be on file. You've got a comment section here to put in whatever comments you want. In this case, there really is no issuance date or expiration date. You click save and close. You go back into that same list. And it didn't save it for me. Why did it not save it for me? Okay, well, that might be a problem, Miss Pat.
Let's try it again. That's why we're doing this.
It sure didn't take it.
Let's try another one.
All right, so I'm gonna do verification of homelessness.
Because we know that folks here in our office have been using it without fail, and I don't know if it's.
That's what I know.
Mhm.
So I'm putting the template in, there it is. Copy. It's on file. Test. Don't need those. I'm gonna save and close it. And it didn't take it. And that's something.
Well,
Well, I'm wondering if there's a change that's been done.
is it because it's not connected to an enrollment?
No, it should be there regardless. Because the document checklist doesn't look for an enrollment.
Okay, that looks like it's a Nacovia question then, because I know Sharonica and Tarika have been using the document check for everyone that they're enrolling.
I know, I get that, I do.
I did one earlier and I had to hit add.
Okay, let's go in. Let's do that. We're not gonna take too much of you guys' time, but this is the kind of stuff when we're rolling something out, if we run across these glitches, best to work them all out, then roll it out and it not be right. One of the reasons, and this is a good segue, and I hadn't planned this, but one of the reasons that as Charles talks about the new rollout of the new upgrade of Client Track, really, really, really important that everyone go in there and try and do stuff, because we want to see if it works, if it doesn't work. Absolutely, absolutely critical. Okay, stop right here. Hover, nope. Wait a minute,
There.
it said you had, okay, now it was there.
So there's a problem with that save and close button, so I need to put in a ticket for that.
Okay, so it was just the save and close?
Yeah, that button right there has an issue with it.
Okay.
That came about recently, because I've clicked that button about 1,000,000 times doing this stuff, and I've never had an issue, so something's happened over the last couple of weeks.
And it may have something to do with the sync going on.
And it may very well have, but anyway, I clicked the save button. So there it is, it's telling you that it's there. There's your PDF, so if I click on that, I can pull it up. And there you go. That's just a template of mine that I've got filled out. And I just close it out. Yay.
Okay, so I'm gonna, if you will, give me back the screen for just a minute. Any questions on that document, or did you want to show with the document check when they pull it up again?
I do want to show a little bit more.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so I'm going back into. I think I was in test, or I was in test.
I think you went into both at some point. Yeah.
Yep, I did. Okay, so I was in tester. All right, now, right here, you do have some options on the action wheel. You can edit the document check. So if you click on there, it'll take you here. And you can delete this file from here. Now, before you guys do that, make sure that you download this file and move it over to client files for an archive and for auditing purposes. Now, you can also do that from the quick document check. That's why I say always go here. Because you can do everything right here. You can upload, update. Say he's got a new. Well, this is not a good document to do this with, but if this were a driver's license and the expiration date was not valid, was past due or whatever, and you needed to upload a new ID. So you would delete the associated file. Yes. And as soon as that gets done, then you can choose another file or take a picture of the document, however you want to do it. And then, yeah, so then you would just upload the new file. Before you do that, on some things, the ID, you wouldn't have to do that on because there's no need to archive the ID. You just keep a current copy on file. And that's basically how all that works. So I will give it over to you, Pat.
Okie dokie. Well, thank you for that, Charles. I'm gonna go back over here. Any questions? And again, the document check, it looks like there's a glitch in that button. So Charles will work on that. So we're gonna follow this up with an email to everyone talking about specializing or making standardized or customized, I should say, lists for each of your organizations based on your funding source should you need it. I would suggest that you go with the highest level of documentation you need and use that as your gold star or your guiding star for all of your programs. And that way, if you have those, then you're always good. But we'll be doing some follow-up on that with you. Yes. Hey, Kitty. As we go forward. Speaking of which, talking about training, let's take a few minutes to discuss training opportunities for these meetings, for HMIS, for case management, for any other things that might be of interest, might be of need. What do we need to do or have on a regular basis as a refresher? Let's have some discussion other than me just standing here. Oh, come on. Somebody's got something. Kathy Devane, I'm putting you on the spot. Nothing. Nothing. Everybody knows everything and everything's perfect. Woo-hoo.
I
right,
literally stepped away for a second.
Okay. If you had to say what we needed folks to, or you needed some training on, or you needed a refresher on, what would that be?
I have a whole lot. I would like to get better with things like Word, Excel, things like that. As far as training, I would like to know anything that's going to help what I do as far as knowledge wise.
Okay. All right. So any other ideas? Keisha, you unmuted. Maybe you did that by accident.
Well, that's because I'm on my phone now. I think
Okay.
it just did that automatically. Sorry.
Okay.
Or you want me to come up with a question or?
No, I was
have so
gonna,
many questions.
one of the things I was thinking about was, I think everybody here could use a refresher or an initial, overview of what DBHDD does and who falls under that and everything else. So whether it be educational or spotlighting an organization, we need to, I think there's opportunities for education, and opportunities to learn and grow. I know one of the things that, we talk about on a regular basis is how do we streamline some of our processes to, so that you're doing one thing, but you're getting multiple things done. So talking like case management 101, if you're talking with a client, have the account up, review the goals, review their last case notes, review their upcoming appointments, those kinds of things. So just, we'll be sending out, and again, a short survey with probably 10 things on there with suggestions on learning opportunities, going forward. And some of it
I
is
think
going to
those are
be,
great.
I'm sorry?
No, I think those are great ideas. I wasn't sure I'm so new to this meeting. I'm not even really sure what who all the participants are, like who the audience is. So get with me afterwards. I'd be glad to put together something about
Yeah.
Department of Behavioral Health and what we do and how we could help provide more skills training for individual organizations.
Absolutely, that would be great. And now that you mention it, you're right. There's quite a few people on here that I don't think that you know, and I think there's some other new folks on here. So and before we wrap up, we'll let everyone introduce themselves to the group so we can sort of get to know who's here. Oh, let me go back to sharing my screen. You guys, I don't know if you guys are seeing my screen or not. No? Let me try this. How about now? Yeah, all right. Oh, come on. All right, so now let's talk about referrals from coordinated entry for the past month. A total of 333 events. That doesn't necessarily mean 333 unique clients. Some of them had referrals and it had to be re-referred. But of that, the breakdown is here, and I'm not gonna sit here and read them to you. But if you can see, 196 of these were referred for housing needs assessments. That means the person had the initial intake or the initial outreach to coordinated entry, and now coordinated entry is trying to follow up to do the further assessment on them. So we're seeing about a 30%. 30% of those who call initially or do an online intake initially never end up being enrolled or having a housing needs assessment done for coordinated entry. Folks are trying to get services, but when they find out that there's lots of hoops and regulations to go along with it, then that doesn't seem to be so inviting after that. Of those emergency housing vouchers, all of them went to Phoenix City. 3 went to our Hopewell folks, and then there's the breakdown. And again, we're going to send all this out, so I'm not going to sit here and read all this to you. Just remember that in the next week or two, we will be doing follow-ups on open referrals from last month, just to make sure that we're closing the gap. And we all know that it's taking, longer to house folks. The stock of available housing is less than it's probably ever been since any of us have ever done this. So it is taking longer. But if you have not enrolled the client, you can't be working with the client. So for instance, if Home for Good, Rapid Rehousing, you have to be enrolling the client, you have to be collecting the documents, you have to be case noting it before you start working with the client. So you're not saying, hey, go give me this, come back, and then I'll enroll you. Because remember, your enrollment date is the enrollment date doesn't dictate the length of time homeless. The time they came into the system at the beginning of this homeless occurrence dictates the length of time homeless. So you think you're doing your organization good and saying, well, our length of time is only this, but it's looked at as a system-wide approach because it has to come in through coordinated entry. So I'm not going to stay on that soapbox for too long, but just know that those referrals through coordinated entry You have 3 days to initiate that contact. And if there's difficulty in that, make those case notes, let coordinated entry know. And probably not a bad idea in the next couple of months, Kathy and Tammy, to do an update on Appendix J's on rejections of referrals and those kinds of things and why. The prevention and where those referrals went to for the past month. Hey there. And again, the coordinated entry housing needs assessment. That's when they've done the initial intake, either 211 on the phone or our intake online. Our coordinated entry administrator, it has pulled those over and is ready to do a housing needs assessment to assess the household type, the vulnerability, and make those referrals. And then we're in that chase down the client kind of thing. So there was quite a few of those in the past month. Okay, so we're literally at the end of our slides for today. So while we're here, I know there's a couple of things coming up for folks in the next couple of weeks. I know that some agency updates. We got some events coming up here. So before we do that, let's go. I'm going to stop sharing the screen here, and we're going to get everybody to start introducing themselves. I'm Pat Frey with Home for Good at the United Way, and Samsung SM8136U. I don't know who that is. Gentleman with glasses, and there's a cabinet on the wall behind you.
Okay, thanks, Pat. My name is Roy Willis. I'm with Safe House Ministries, Case Management.
Hey, Mr. Roy. Miss Kathy, who was sitting there with the kitty cat earlier. You're still muted, Miss Kathy. Nope, we still can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, we got
Kathy
lots of
Jones.
feedback. Okay, we got lots of feedback. That's Miss Kathy. You're with Safe House too, right, Miss Kathy? Okay. Cheryl, go ahead.
Hey, sure. I don't know what all the feedback is.
Okay, I think we're good now. Cheryl, you want to go one more time, please?
Okay, Cheryl Cole with Department of Community Affairs. I work with Georgia Rental Assistance Program, and we're just currently trying to make sure we're trying to reduce these barriers so everybody can access these funds.
Thank you. Melvin Morgan, please. All right, Mr. Morgan with the VA, we'll come back to you. Kathy Robinson.
Kathy Robinson, Director of Workforce Development for Safe House Ministries.
Thank you, Kathy. All right, Keisha, you've talked a little bit, but introduce yourself, please.
I got about 3 things to get through to unmute myself now. Okay, I'm Keisha Carter. I work for the Department of Behavioral Health as a mental health case expediter. So what that basically means is I try to link people with severe and persistent mental illness who may have really high rates of going in the hospital, jail, crisis units with community-based services. And in my office, I'm making this brief, we have different people that focus on different aspects of a person. So we actually have a housing coordinator, that's Sam Page, and he would know a lot more than I do about this particular role. So I will try to get him to participate in these meetings ongoing, but we overlap so much that it's okay.
I'm glad you brought that up because I did think about Sam the other day. It's about time we get the Georgia Housing Voucher update and how folks can access that, because I think it's being underutilized, in my opinion. Anyway.
Yeah, and they've made some changes to it. So if y'all don't have those, he needs to inform.
Yep. Well, we'll tell him
Thank
you invited him. All right, Sharonica Jackson. Okay, Sharonica did have a client at the door, so she may be tied up. Miss Kathy? I guess there you go.
I'm here.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Kathy, Home for Good. I am the 211 referral specialist.
Woohoo. Miss Denise McWhorter is here.
For my benefit, can you just say what agency they're from, Pat, if they're not around?
Ma'am?
If they don't answer, can you at least for my benefit say what
Sure.
agency they're
Oh,
from?
absolutely, absolutely, yes. There's Sharonica. I think she just unmuted. I think she's done now. Yes, so Ms. Sharonica, you go ahead.
I'm Sharonica Jackson with Home for Good. Good.
Thank you.
I am the housing case manager. I do the intakes. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Sharonica.
You're welcome.
233754. I think that was Carol. Okay, Tarika, you're up next, please.
Hello, my name is Tarika Barnes, and I'm with Home for Good, and I am a housing case manager also, and I assist the clients with finding a house. Or
Thank you.
permanent house, excuse me.
Thank you, Ms. Tarika.
You're
Ms.
welcome.
Tammy Redding. Okay, Tammy. Her mic's not working. She can hear everyone. She's Tammy Redding with Home for Good, our HMIS admin. Thank you, Miss Tammy. Mr. Charles.
Yes, my name is Charles Jeffries. I am with Home for Good. I have too many titles to list, actually. So I'm just a man with many hats. So there you go.
Charles is a case manager, HMIS tech person, and then all of the things that Denise asked him to do. We'll blame it on Denise. Miss Jamie Lee.
Hey, everybody, I'm Jamie Lee, Safe House Ministries.
Thank you, Miss Jamie Lee. So Carol Coakley Hall from Piedmont Healthcare. Her mic is not working. Welcome, Carol. Look forward to, in fact, you know, we might want in the next couple of months for you to have a just an update for those who may be new, or those of us who need a refresher on the Piedmont mobile unit. Also, if we can get regular schedules of when the mobile unit is going to be where, we'll be glad to publish that here on a monthly basis, but also in our biweekly newsletter. So in addition to what we send out, when we send out the slides, Denise, we can go ahead and send out COC membership forms so that we have updated ones on everybody, so that we can make sure everybody is also included on our listserv for our newsletters. And if there's somebody who needs to get information that's not getting it, holler, holler, holler. All right, Miss Andrea Powell, you're next. Okay, Andrea Powell is at Open Door. Miss Tiffany Cole, you're after that.
Hey everyone, I'm Tiffany Cole from the House of Time. I literally laughed out loud when Charles said he wears many hats, because I feel like I do too. But my title at the House of Time is Program Financial Manager, but I also do everything that involves HMIS for House of Time is me. So yeah.
Yep, woman of many talents, that's for sure. Thank you, Tiffany. How's that grandbaby doing?
Oh, she's perfect. She's crawling, getting around everywhere.
Woohoo, look out. It's about to get interesting at your place.
Oh yeah.
All right, thank you, Tiffany. Mr. Drew.
Drew Johnson, case manager, Safe House Ministries.
Thank you, Drew. Miss Ginger.
Hey, Pat. Hey, everyone. Ginger Thomas. I'm the manager of connections at Safe House Ministries.
Thank you. Miss Valerie Harvey. Okay, Valerie Harvey. Oh, Mike is not working. Valerie Harvey is at Open Door Community House. Thank you, Valerie. Andrea May too also have that same issue. So the next one, I think the last one is there Miss Feliciano, Crystal Feliciano.
Hi, I'm Crystal Feliciano. I am the case manager for the Welcome Home program at Open Door Community House.
Well, Crystal, so good to hear your voice. I guess you muted the rest of the folks from Open Door so you could talk. Way to go. You could be the spokesperson today for Open Door. All right, while we're moving right along, any agency updates, any events coming up or whatever, while we're doing that, I just want to make sure that there's not something here I'm supposed to remember and I haven't. Okay, yeah. Okay, so any events coming up, anything, I know we have Vote Riders going to be here at September the 14th here at the Home for Good office at 5 o'clock to do help folks get ID. Our navigation meeting will be October 4th at 3 p.m. On the PowerPoint that comes out, you'll have our rent readiness survey again. Remember, we launched this a couple months ago, trying to, if you're working with landlords and they need assistance or would appreciate assistance in trying to get their units turned more quickly, or if there's a particular thing that, you know what, is something that they have to put on the back burner because there's just not the time nor the money to get it done. Let's fill this out. It's a very, very short survey, but we're trying to see what the needs are in the community to see if we can bring a coalition together to try and help with that. Talking about that, if you guys will remember, last month we rolled out the supplemental notice of funding for unsheltered homeless. That application is due on next Friday at noon. And we'll go ahead and send out a reminder to everyone. We sent one out last week, but just as a reminder for that is due at noon on next Friday. The scoring for our regular funding is taking place now. We have one person that was at the hospital this morning, so she's doing the scoring this afternoon, and we'll be posting it either later tonight or first thing in the morning. What other updates? Keisha, did you want to talk about what's going to happen in October? We're going to have a bunch of volunteers here in town and those kinds of things. I think the group would be interested in hearing a little bit about that.
Okay. So the PASS conference is going to be held in Columbus, Georgia, and the dates are, I don't have my notes in front of me, but I think they're the 25th, 26th, and 27th of October. Yep, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And we are doing a homeless outreach event on Tuesday, the 27th, and we have engaged a lot of different community partners. Safe House Ministries is probably our key advocate in this. We're going to, the details are still slowly coming in, but the idea is to engage as many people as we can in the community. And I think we've decided on the Hamilton Road location as the point for Tuesday's engagement, and meet them with case management need, housing needs, the PASS teams from across Georgia. So we have a local PASS team that's part of New Horizons, but there's about 5 or 6 other teams throughout Georgia that are also coming to Columbus. So we're going to hopefully use their resources to the best we can. Community volunteers are also coming to the table, and we're hoping that we can really help Safe House out this go around, and with different service projects that they've let us know that they're in need of at their different group home locations, and I think the Victory Drive location as well. So the details are still kind of sifting through. If your agency, I know I've heard Open Door on here, the VA, Home for Good is definitely involved in this. So I didn't even mention y'all, but y'all are a key player in this. Pat, we shouldn't say thank you enough for all your help with all of this as well. House of Time, if anyone else would like to participate in this, share with the group. Y'all done the point in time counts in January where they've done the Open Door. We've used the gym and the big room to have different booths and engagement and make sure people know about the different services in Columbus. It's kind of like that, if you think of it that way. If you'd like to be involved, Keisha Cawthorn, I put my name in the thing in the chat, but I'll also put my email address. If you'd like to reach out to me, we'd love to have you participate. Did I leave anything out?
I don't think so. Thank you, Keisha. Yes, if you can, again, put your email address in the chat, that would be great. And we, again, we will share the recording, the slides, and the chat with everybody. So again, another reason to make sure that you've put your information in the chat box.
I'm sorry?
Denise
Denise McCoy what agency Denise was with.
Denise is with Home for Good. She works here at Home for
Oh,
Good.
okay. I probably met you. Sorry, Denise. I'm still learning everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any other events? Cheryl, you got anything going on at Safe House other than what we've already talked about, Miss Jamie Lee or Miss Ginger? Tiffany, House of Time, how are things going there? Any upcoming events, anything going on? Mr. Morgan, anything going on at the VA? I know you guys had to stand down in Montgomery. Either last week or gonna be this week. But anything else going on?
No, nothing outside of the stand down, which will be held this Friday in Montgomery, Alabama at Crampton Bowl.
Mhm. Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Anything else before we wrap it up? Okay, go ahead. We can't hear you.
Too many mute buttons. Do you have a distribution with participants and contact information
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
that's
ma'am.
out there? Is it
Yes, ma'am.
site or is it? Okay, I'll look for it.
We can
'cause I would like
send
to
it
reach
out. We'll be glad to send it out to everybody, and that way it might make it easier for us too to update it if we just send out the list and say, hey, update your information. Yeah.
Okay, that'd be great.
Great, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
All right, we'll give it just a few more minutes or a few seconds, I should, probably 30 to 45 seconds. If no one has anything else to announce, anything else going on, please put your name and organization in the chat box. We will be doing some follow-ups with Sam from DBHDD about Georgia Housing Voucher. Mr. Morgan, I think it's time to re-inform some folks about what the VA does in our area and the coverage area and the opportunities for veterans. And also talking about the mobile unit at Piedmont and scheduling and all the services that they provide to residents through not only in Muskogee and Russell County, but for probably 8 to 10 county region and maybe even more than that. I know Kathy's not on here. I don't think I saw her earlier, Kathy Robinson, but there is a Safe House Ministries does have construction ready coming in cooperation with Goodwill to help folks get skilled. It's a 20-day course on basic construction skills. We are also working on a project with Goodwill and Metra and Safe House. I say several organizations, we're trying to firm up the plan right now for recruiting bus drivers for Metra. And the city is going to consider folks they may not have considered before. So this will be huge. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Cheryl, you go ahead.
Thank you, Pat. So I am, of course, trying to put out fires all day long. And one of the things is I sent out some flyers for Stewart, Quitman, and Webster counties. This is only for those residents. So many people are calling me from all over the state of Georgia. Hey, I want to get one of those appointments to meet with you one-on-one to take an application. It is only for Stewart, Quitman, and Webster County, and it's one day only, just a few hours. I'm not sure how it got all the way out to Savannah and down to Waycross and up, but sometimes maybe, and I apologize if it wasn't clear. So Thursday the 8th, I'll be in Quitman, and it's a by appointment only. On the 13th, I'll be in Webster, again, appointment only. And then on the 28th, I'll be in Stewart. Depending on how this works will be whether or not it will continue. So if I am inundated with people from multiple counties that I have to turn away, I won't do it again. So I'm just trying to get that word out. I don't know who did it, but and I'm not blaming anybody here because I know it was through a family connection. But bless their heart getting the word out. I appreciate their help by all means, but we're really working at setting these kind of situations up where I can be that person that can help people. And again, I am not a partner. So once I am done with that application, you on your own. It's not back and forth. I can't process it. When I take your application, I can't process it. So it's just, That's how it has to be. So I'm just letting everybody know I'm working, I'm doing this kind of stuff. If you feel like you have somebody in one of those counties, my information, I'll put it back in the chat again. Please have them reach out to me. But again, Stewart, Whitman, and Webster only, because these are counties where we have very low amount of applications. So I'm trying to focus. I have 13 counties with under 50 applications. We want to kind of focus on them so that they can somehow, maybe we can up those numbers one by one. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. And Cheryl's always been very helpful. And even if she can't answer the question, she's very good at referring us to who can. So thank you for that. Please go ahead, put your information once again in the chat box so it can be closer to the bottom. It's easier than folks having to search all the way through it. So we'll be downloading this slides recording and the chat. Probably will get posted. We'll get it sent out tomorrow, and it will be posted in our bi-weekly newsletter next week because we just published one on Friday, but we'll send it out tomorrow via email to everybody. Okay, we got about 30 seconds and we're gonna wrap this thing up. All right, don't forget to be on the lookout for the surveys that are going to come out talking about educational opportunities or discussion topics or organizations that you want to see in the future so that we can make this a useful meeting. There's nothing more frustrating to have a meeting just to have a meeting. So with that, we'll let everyone go and enjoy the rest of their day. Thanks. Bye, guys.